Good afternoon. Welcome to 48th Parallel News at Noon on CNL2. It's noon. We are actually starting right on time.
Yes.
Well, 45 seconds late, but that's close enough. It's Thursday, February 8th. Thanks for joining us. Our guest today is Nate Fihn. Nate, we're going to hear all about you in just a second. And my co-host today is the inimitable Matthew Rice.
Hello there.
Do you have any more dental stories to
Um,
tell us?
sadly-
Any follow-up?
Oh, no pain. I was told that there might be a little bit of pain, but literally nothing.
Okay.
Feels perfectly normal.
Okay.
So I'm happy with that.
Looks normal.
Matthew got his first tooth filling at age 23.
Oh,
Which-
congrats.
I don't know if that's something you say congrats
I don't
to.
know.
Congrats on not needing
Thank
one
you.
up until now.
Exactly.
Thank
right.
you.
Good hygiene, good dental hygiene. But we heard all about yesterday, so if you're curious about how his first, we have that on tape. You can watch that on video on demand on CNL2. Okay, so Nate, you are the new owner of Waterworks Gallery,
That's right.
sometimes known now as a Waterworks Gallery.
That's right. We're working it out.
We
Yeah.
should probably explain why there's an A in front now.
Sure. Gallery is a 38-year-old legacy space, and it has been Waterworks Gallery this whole time. So just for business, that was a corporation owned by Ruth Offen, the previous owner. So just for legal reasons, I think we decided that putting the A would make sense. But as I just said, I looked at my official paperwork with the Secretary of State, and the A is not on there. So, I might just be adding it for flair. But
The governor didn't like that.
yeah, he said no.
He
no
didn't want to
A's.
do that. No, he
Yeah.
said that's not necessary.
Yeah.
So for people maybe that are in Seattle, maybe watching this later on video on demand or live, maybe. What's a quick history of Waterworks Gallery?
Sure. So Ruth often started this gallery in 1985, the year I was born. And she came up here, I want to say from New York, New Jersey, East Coast area, and she kind of felt a niche, a hole was a present that she could fill with fine art. So she opened up a space, I want to say it was over on A Street maybe, but when she opened, it was a small little outfit. She signed a handful of artists and, built, I guess, an empire, a legacy anyway. The gallery has got a lot of momentum. It's well known in art circles. We've had the privilege of stewarding a bunch of huge artists from their inception to where they are now. And I wasn't involved in any of that. And here I am,
Continuing.
Yeah, it's for me the excitement was kind of the honor of stewarding this momentum that they've built and bringing kind of a fresh take. So
And there are working artists inside the gallery?
not inside the gallery. Right next door at the Atelier are
Okay.
working studios, and you can go see some amazing art there.
Okay.
My space is for exhibitions and for
Okay.
shows. And
It's a one-stop. You can go to both and
oh, absolutely.
get deeply immersed in the art experience here.
Tons of art. Yeah. We've actually the Atelier folks and Lisa Lamoureux at Luminous Gallery down in Cannery have started an art walk every first Friday of the month. You might have seen some stuff posted about it, but it's already growing in momentum. There's 11 or 12 businesses involved. Our goal is by the summer to get a ton of momentum so the locals can easily say, oh, first Friday, art walk.
Good. Yeah, we hope to cover that in the next actually few days. We've
Absolutely.
been in communication, right, Jeremy? And we we hope to have something. You don't have to say anything. But
Also with the art tours, the San Juan Island art tours, there's
Studio tours, yeah.
Yeah.
Studio
I
tour.
believe
Yeah.
that's June.
Okay.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, lots
See?
of art here. Lots
Yeah.
of.
Are you an artist?
blossoming. Yeah. I'm an artist of. I'm an ADHD artist, so the medium changes based on who knows what. But when I was a kid, it was visual, a lot of drawing. I'm a poet. More so, I'm an MC. I'm a hip hop kid, so I grew up in the '90s.
Where'd you grow up?
I'm Seattle. Yeah, North Seattle. Lived all over. But yeah, mostly my creativity these days is writing. But I've been known
Poetry
to
or stories or
rap. Yeah, rap
okay.
verses. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
been in a band in Seattle for a long time, and moved up here, and that ended, and have just recently found a band up here called Open Eye. It's Peter Strasser on keys, my buddy Eddie on the drums. We have a flautist and a vocalist named Casey Reagan, and we've done handful of shows.
Well, you are invited to perform here.
Yeah.
So you see over there, you see a xylophone, you see some drums.
I sure do.
Soon I think you'll see a Hammond organ back here
Okay.
in the street right there by the Caldwell Banker.
Yeah.
No, really, this right here behind you is going to be a music stage. We hope to end every noon show with about 10 minutes of live music.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
We'd love to see you back in that role.
Yeah.
That
well,
would be cool.
I've got a ton of musicians for you.
Talk
so.
to your buddies. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. We're going to need a lot of bands, a lot of musicians. But there are a lot of musicians here, and there are a lot of visual artists here. This is as or more artistic, I would say, than Port Townsend, and that would be saying a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Rich culturally and artistically inclined.
so now you put yourself right at ground zero.
I'm right in the middle.
In the middle of it.
Yeah.
And yet you're doing some things differently.
I am. It's I wouldn't say it's a huge departure. I mean, art galleries have always been spaces for culture, music, parties, and I'm just kind of continuing that tradition, just in the ways that I do it.
How are you bringing music into Waterworks?
I've got a web series launched. We did an episode with a local singer-songwriter named Will C. Brumsicle, fantastic, talented writer, singer. So what we do is all the walls in there are on, not all of them, but the middle walls are on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So I can set it up for gallery work during the day, and then I can drag one wall over, line it up with the other, move aside all the sculptures and the plinths, and then fill that space with chairs and have a little stage area with some lighting. And
That's handy.
it becomes a really nice, intimate set.
Yeah.
concert
And
kind of thing.
when do you do these?
I think I'm going to do them bi-monthly, probably starting March.
Does that mean every other month?
Does it mean that? What? How do you say twice a month?
Semi-monthly.
Yeah,
I
twice a month. We're
Twice
going.
a month. Okay.
Yeah. Trinity is. I don't know if anyone. If you've been here for a little bit, you might have heard of Trinity. She's the helm of our local punk band called Mudbath. Fantastic. Another super talented writer, singer, super unique. We're going to launch her episode, I want to say the first weekend of March. And
You're
then,
making Friday Harbor hip.
I'm just putting the hip people in front of as many eyes as possible. That's the goal.
And are you finding an audience?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would love if there was kind of right now I'm trying to figure out how best to reach the different demographics here, whether it's, who responds to Instagram and Facebook and word of mouth and emails. And another side project of mine is trying to get somebody else, because I'm too busy to launch a master town calendar that everyone can get a link to, and we can kind of make sure that the cross promotion is cut down, since we kind of have a limited audience, and it'd be nice if everyone got the support that they deserved for each event.
That's a master calendar for entertainment? Or
Yeah.
Or more than that?
Yeah, for
Just
entertainment.
yeah.
For entertainment. There's a lot of factions right now that are planning and doing a lot of cool stuff. And yeah, it would just be nice to make sure everyone.
Well, how hard would
Is
that
there.
be?
Not hard.
It could be like a Google Doc, right?
Yeah, essentially.
But everybody just has to agree to use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can help with that. Maybe we can
Yeah.
get people to
Yeah.
just be mindful. Maybe we could publish it on the site or something.
That'd be great. Yeah.
But That's
Yeah.
a pretty good idea.
I think so. You know, we're a small enough town that it just takes a tiny bit of extra communication, and
Hmm.
it'll
Yeah,
help.
it could be
It'll help
done.
everyone.
That's
Yeah.
a really good idea.
Yeah.
And then you have Sunday night open mic.
Open mics every Sunday, 7 to 10.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday, unless something happens. But yeah, that's been a long-standing. Started at Ever Else. Jesse Jean and I kind of birthed this version. There's been countless open mics on this island, but the version that's continuing started at Ever Else. Ever Else ownership changed. Nicole Fuenzalida is now 10th House. Does some amazing cooking and awesome wine events. And then when I got the gallery space, I was like, okay, we can move it into here. In the interim, because there is another space being built out in Serena Business Park called The Fold, and that is kind of a more DIY event space, subscription based. So if you need it for a workspace during the day, you have one subscription. If you want it for band practice or throwing shows or pop-ups, yeah, there's some really cool momentum behind that. It's Kyle and JC of Shadow Basket and Danny Blue and a bunch
You're
of different
introducing
people.
just all new terms.
Let's go, yeah.
Pop-ups and
There's so much going on.
tiny desk and
Yeah,
all this
yeah.
stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah,
You're
there's-
really going to wake up the evenings here.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Hopefully.
I kind of
Yeah.
think of that strip mall now as that area is just going to be like an entertainment mecca. And you got
Yeah.
karaoke at the bowling alley, and
Yeah.
you got all kinds of stuff. But it's. Do you think that this is going to be much more active in the summer when the tourists are here, or is this more aimed at the locals?
I think it's both. I think what I've found living here is if you don't focus on the locals, then you kind of shoot yourself in the foot.
Right.
You know, we
Absolutely.
live here all year round.
Absolutely.
It's important for us to support each other, care for each other, do the things we all want to do. And then when the tourists come, it's just kind of like, you guys can
Yeah.
pack in and have fun too. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think
That's why I love the karaoke at the bowling alley, because it's kind of like that. It's clearly a homegrown thing, but if you're here, in the summer, you're just going to join in, and you're going to think, "Wow, what a cool town! Look at all this."
yeah.
But, yeah, I think you're 100% right. You have to put the locals first. As dependent as this town is on tourism, you have to put the locals first. So
Yeah.
I think I commend you for that.
Yeah.
What
When-
kind of? Go ahead.
Sorry. When did you move to the island?
I've been here 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My wife and I, we are both Seattle born and raised,
Mm-hmm.
and we were, down. We lived all over, but we were down in the South Lake Union, and just getting that feeling of, if we look down the road, what are the things that are important to us? And it was small town that we could have kids in, where we know everyone and everyone knows them, because my kids are going to be, they're going to be needing some extra eyes on them. Seasonal nature, Northwest, beautiful. The idea of being on an island was attractive. We're kind of insulated, and we have our own thing going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we've been here about a decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back to the open mic nights
Yeah.
on Sundays. The hours are 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Is that right?
That's right.
Is there a cover?
There's a suggested donation of all these events. $10 is suggested. It's not, if you can't do it or aren't interested in doing it, then
Suggested
it's all
donation.
good. Yeah.
Is there? Are there drinks? Is there food? Any of that?
The my main business and the business that I've been doing for the past few years is a private event bartending. That's Blind Tiger Bar Services. So I do private events, and I have to say the private because the Liquor Control Board requires a banquet permit, and the stipulations of that is no social media promotion. It has to be invite only. There has to be a guest list to be able to serve the alcohol. So, we play by the rules over there for that.
So that kind of throws out an open situation like that.
It does. If you get on my email list or close friends list, then I send ticket links basically and I have a certain amount of tickets that can be bought, and then
Now, is
we
that
make those-
Nate at Waterworks Gallery?
you can hit me up there, and
Okay.
I'll add you to whatever.
And Jeremy, I don't know, are you able to put this up? Do you have time? Or we can just do it on the post-production? Okay, so usually by 5 o'clock the same day, we have this tape on the site, and we will have your email with your permission. We'll
Yeah.
put your email so people could contact you and get on your special list.
That's great.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
great.
I'm super active on Instagram, at a Waterworks Gallery, at Blind Tiger Bar Services. Between those two, you can find most of my events, or at least hints to come somewhere else to find the events.
Speaking of your business card, we won't be able to do justice to it here, but first of all, it's a really cool card. So I
Thank
don't
you.
know where
It's
you had
beautiful.
this made, but it's really well done.
Thanks.
And there's some artwork on one side of this. We'll also put this. Can we put this on the site later today? We'll put a close up of this on. Tell us the story about this artist.
Sure. These cards are from moo.com. This is a painting by a guy named Art Hansen, who was a famous Seattle painter. He passed away in 2017. Super prolific. We have a good amount of prints. Ruth did an excellent job, curating and bringing in some stuff that we still have. And when I took over, a lot of these prints really spoke to me and jumped out at me. And this one in particular, this is like a pretty large painting. When you come into the gallery, it's I don't remember the exact dimensions, but it's a big one. And it's different than the other prints we have. We have a lot of florals. He does a kind of a series on poppies. He has a lot of roses. He has some landscapes, barn type scenes. But this one, felt a lot more metropolitan, a lot more. I really like this, so I've chosen it for all my socials and all my stuff.
Nice.
And hopefully that's all right with the Hansen family. But yeah, I would like to do a retrospective in March. I've got a strong show schedule this year. Every month, 2024, we're going to be doing a new show. And March is going to be the launch of local superstar Maria Michelson, co-owner of Alchemy Art Center. And Alchemy does incredible, invaluable stuff all over the community at all.
Yeah.
You'll see them everywhere. And Maria is a signed represented artist as of this year, and so her launch will be March. And my idea is kind of, the central spaces, I'll have my core show, and then the support walls will be something similar or complementary, contrasting, whatever. But March support walls will be a Hansen retrospective. So I'll put up all the pieces we have. I've got some private collectors loaning some pieces. I reached out to his sons, and I haven't heard back, but it'd be really nice to get some kind of, I don't know, maybe like a video from them, or best case scenario, they come up here and they do a
Yeah.
talk about his life.
Yeah.
He
idea.
lived on Vashon, so yeah.
We'd like to cover that.
Okay.
If that
Yeah.
happens. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it'd be really fun.
So you're busy.
I'm busy.
You stay busy.
I'm busy. I got 2 kids and a beautiful wife who's also super busy. She's a mental health nurse practitioner. But yeah, man, this is the time.
Does she work here?
She's got an office here. She works remotely for a company in Seattle, and she's figuring out how to, hang a shingle for locals.
We could use that.
Yeah, everywhere.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, so you're like 39, I guess.
38.
38.
38.
So
yeah.
you have a hip young vibe. I think it's great. It's going to really be good for the whole. Are you a member of the chamber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
So-
did a ribbon cutting last week. Yeah, shout out the chamber and Becky and
Nice.
Roberto. And
Nice.
yeah.
So was COVID? It seems like COVID was really tough on galleries in Seattle. I don't know if how much it. I heard actually it did affect quite a few businesses up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we on the rebound finally?
I like to think so. I think that what Ruth and Jennifer Smith, the previous director, did they got our website really dialed in, maybe right even before that, before COVID. So by the time everything was locked down, it was an easy transition to get direct people to the website. I think we have a strong collector clientele base, who, there's been regular newsletters, so people have been tapped in digitally for a while. And then they did, I think they did surprisingly well because of that.
Yeah. Now, you haven't owned it that long, but have you heard, in terms of the ferries and the state of Washington State ferries, has that created a negative impact on the business? The difficulty of people getting to the island and getting home?
That's a good question.
You might not know. I mean, you just
I
took
bet
over.
it affects it somehow,
Yeah.
but
I haven't talked yet to a business
Yeah.
who says it hasn't.
yeah,
But sometimes it's kind of hard to quantify, and you're not in a great position to know that just yet. So,
yeah.
another question, kind of this my checklist in my head. Do your kids go to school?
My kids are in a homeschool co-op run by a dear friend
Cool.
of ours, and they're loving it. It's very much
Good.
like a forest school, unschooling. They're outside a lot. They're doing art. It's child-led learning. It's a really beautiful setup.
Neat.
They're there 3 days
What's
a week.
the co-op?
It's called Havenly. It's run by a friend of ours. But that's when I get to be in the gallery. That's 3 days a week, 12 to 5. I'm in there right now. And then come the busy season, I want to say we're going to be open 6 days a week. I have an employee named Joanne who's a supremely capable and experienced lady. She's been employed there for, I think, probably 5 or 6 years. So between us, we're gonna be open and ready for busy season.
Are you going to still have time to do the bartending business? Is that kind of on autopilot a little bit? I hope.
I'm doing it all, man.
Yeah.
I'm
And
scheduling.
are you at most of the sites of this?
I am, yeah. So this is going to be a busy summer, but I feel like they're always busy summers, and
I hope so.
Yes, they are.
Let's hope so.
you got to make hay when the sun shines. So
Cool.
I'm ready.
Do you want to plug that business a little bit? You want to describe
Yeah.
how like what is the ideal? What's your ideal customer? What's the best fit?
Sure. Blind Tiger Bar Services, private events. So weddings are what I do mostly, but I have done and enjoy doing private residences, birthday parties, just cocktail hours, any kind of shindig you might need a bar for. Shout out San Juan Shindigs, by the way. I think my ideal customer is someone who wants a certain vibe and aesthetic. I think a lot of people can make drinks. I pride myself on being a kind of a piece of the overall energy, and whatever that is, I like to support it. Weddings are great because people are there to celebrate love. They're there to have fun. You can give them a beautiful drink with a fancy garnish, and that kind of adds what it adds. But really, it's how do we interact with the people who are here to have a memory and have a good time.
Are you the chief mixologist?
I am.
Is that
That's
the right
me.
word?
Well, that's a word. Yeah,
That's a word.
That's a word. Yeah. I don't.
Sounds kind of scientific.
Yeah. I'm a bartender. I really enjoy craft cocktailing, and to me, what that means is just intentional ingredients, personalized twist. I make a lot of simple syrups. I have a lot of different bitters. I do a lot of infusions in the alcohol, and it's something that I can't take much credit for. Somehow I have a good sense of flavor mixing and ratios and volumes and presentation, and I guess that's where my creativity was coming most, was at the bar.
What's been trending in the last year or two?
Oh my gosh, there's you've probably seen it all on the internet and TV these days, but people are doing everything from smoking the whole glass with a cloche filled with whatever smoke blend.
Mm-hmm.
Infusions are easy. You can do them lots of different ways. I usually just stuff things in the bottle and kind of make sure it's going okay. Some people will do sous vide infusions. I've seen people doing dishwasher sous vides if you don't have a sous vide machine. Yeah, there's just a lot of it I think is too much. You know, people will do like the garnish for this drink is a cheeseburger with a corn cob. You know, it's like we don't. You know, I'm focused on drinks that are accessible. I've reached a point where I think simplicity, you know, makes sense. I've done the 17 ingredients. I've done the bells and the whistles. I think a classic drink mixed well, served beautifully is a winner.
If I had an event, I'd call you.
There we go.
You have this clocked.
Yeah.
That's really, really great. And so people would reach you at a different email or also at Waterworks Gallery.
You can shoot it to that, yeah. At Blind Tiger Bar Services on Instagram. Slide in the DMs. That's an easy way.
Okay.
But yeah, it all gets to me.
Well, yeah, that sounds like you've got that clocked too. So, you have any questions?
I was going to ask, earlier you said that it's a fine art gallery. Can you kind of explain what that means? Because for me, I don't entirely. Do you only do like drawings, paintings, pastels, pottery, everything?
That's a good question. Yeah, everything is the short answer. I think the delineation between fine art and illustrative art, illustrative meaning maybe it's more for like a commercial application or it answers a question, right? Like if it's used for advertising or for a book or a graphic novel, like those can all be appreciated as fine art on their own, but they're kind of created with the purpose of answering a question.
Okay, yeah.
And fine art is generally posing a question. You know, it's more about the relationship between the viewer and what they're looking at, and that can be any medium. We have sculpture, ceramics. We have Tom Small, who's a renowned. He works with wood and stone in a scale that's mind-boggling. Right now, he's working on these giant glacial erratic boulders, carving them into meditation chairs. He's working on a 1,300-pound stone canoe statue. He lives up on Katy Mountain and he does incredible work.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to get over there with a camera.
Oh,
This is amazing stuff.
He's a special guy. And then the artists that have been signed for 20 and 30 years at the gallery: Catherine Eaton Skinner, Joan Stewart Ross, Cappy Trigg. These are all artists that are well off into their careers as masters, and luckily for me, most of them have agreed to stay on board and trust the vision, and again, I'm humbled to kind of be able to have access to their stuff and put it in front of people in new ways. So
I'm just thinking about a 1,300-pound chair.
oh man,
I would go through a lot of floors.
He's
I get nervous about a baby grand piano.
Yeah, they're
1,300-pound.
They're not fitting in the gallery, that's for sure. That's for sure. But he is doing a show with the San Juan Art Museum. I want to say it's the first week of March it'll open, so he's getting, probably the MEM trucks to bring those giant chairs over and stick them outside the art museum there.
You're not afraid to think big. You're kind of a boundary pusher.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I feel like, especially in a small town, it's really the mindset has to be abundance. A rising tide lifts all ships. I think the scarcity that has affected the community in the past it's going to hurt us all. There's plenty of eyeballs. There's plenty of tourist dollars. There's plenty of everything, as long as we communicate as a community and we put art, culture, love, compassion, the things that are. And
aim high.
Aim high, man.
Aim high.
Yeah.
And ask why not.
Yeah.
Aim high. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, this is terrific, and clearly CNL2 has some homework. We need to get over there and learn more about this. But thank you, and you just have this cool aura that I think is kind of, I don't know, it's going to help get this vision of yours delivered and grow. And I just love the bolo tie. That is
Thanks, man.
so cool. What's the story of the bolo tie?
Oh, an estate sale of a salty old gentleman who used to sit at the bar at the golf course back many years ago when I worked there. He passed and had a bunch of bolo ties at his place, and I grabbed as many as I could, and yeah, the bolos come back for sure. There was actually a woman who she was the front person of her band, and maybe she was from Lopez or Bellingham. She played a show at the Grange, and she made bolo ties, custom ties, and she was saying how hard it is to find the actual, the pieces because they're not really in production much anymore.
Right.
But she makes gorgeous, like, resin. She has everything from tiny silverfish to lupin flowers to, everything right there on the bolo. I wish I could remember her name, but
Wow.
Do you know what a bolo tie is? Before now, did you know?
I did.
Do you have any?
I don't.
Ah, you're not cool.
we'll get you one, bud.
Come on.
We'll get you one.
Hey, if I get one, I'll wear it.
All
There we
right.
go. There we
Well,
go.
there we go. Yeah. Nate Fihn, thank you very much.
Thanks.
It's great
Yeah,
to meet
appreciate
you.
it, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and
Matthew.
Thank you.
Yeah.
we don't be scarce. And,
Yeah.
and spread the word. We're looking for live music. And we're willing to record it too. I mean, it'd be great if it could be live here at 12:45.
Yeah.
We're happy to tape it anytime,
Yeah.
even on weekends, and then just play it at 12:45 or 12:50.
Yeah. I've got tons of musicians on the list. And
I know it's a weird thing to do with a news show, so we break a lot of rules anyway.
you got to
And
aim
we're
high.
gonna break
man.
those, or why not, right?
That's right.
So, we would love to have every musician feel welcome here
Yeah.
to do their thing on the widest possible spectrum. Please spread the word.
Perfect.
And we're about done here. We're going to finish a little early today, but another reminder, I need to call our friends at Community Water Taxi and ask when this is done. I think there's still another week or so. They need the data in the big picture, to develop a state-assisted, state-subsidized community water taxi that moves people between between Orcas and Shaw and Lopez and even other islands, and Friday and San Juan Island. They're doing great work. They've made a lot of progress in their lobbying. It's too early to know that the legislature isn't finished with their bill as late as May 7th, but that's less than a month now. So far, we're still in the budget, and this will be the biggest thing this year that the state government would do to try to help the San Juans. Really, the biggest thing that I know of that would impact the entire system would be done here. So if you want to do your part, please find this. This is also, this flyer is on the CNL2 homepage. Down a little bit, keep going down the stack, and look for that QR code, and be sure to participate in the study. Here's a man right here who's going to use the QR code.
Boom.
So thanks again. I think we're done. Jeremy, you about ready? Take us away. So thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This is All Blues by Miles Davis. It's been covered greatly. It's a tune in 6/8. It's not a waltz, but it's in 6, so you get that 3/4 feel.